some time passed as they made it to the woods where grandmother's cabin resides. Eleanor stopped her horse. That's the woods of the old stallions and their wives. We really aren't meant to bother them. We were told by one of the leaders to find saplings. These woods smell of them. We might not have a better opportunity. Is this a forbidden area? No. It's just kind of for only leaders to visit them. Vita, your stallion's mare, said she used to visit a grandmother's cabin long before she was his wife. Is this who you speak of? Yes, it is. That is true. I guess it will be all right. We were told to find the saplings, and if you know they are here, we will just make sure not to bother them. Very well, then. Traveler followed his nose till he found a patch of 5 saplings. It'll only take 2 from here. Do you think there are more? Yes, the scent is faint, but there are more. Eleanor jumped off her horse with a small hand shovel. You know you didn't have to do that, she spoke softly. Do what? Traveler questioned. Tell Siku to be nice to me. My lady, I cannot lie to you. I indeed spoke to him to treat you in kindness, as you should be treated. Eleanor didn't look up as she worked. I'm not a kid. You know, it doesn't bother me. I want them to treat me nice because of my actions, not that of others. My lady? I am sorry. I was only trying to teach the lads some manners. I know. Thank you. You know, Siku is not that bad. He is a good hunter, and he plans to fight in the wars. He did much when it came to deconstructing the Harlt's land, and he's entirely infatuated with himself, but still he's just a young bronco full of himself, not old enough to grow a proper beard. She slightly laughed at the end, as did Traveler. Yes, well, just the same, he should learn some manners. Toward ladies. Do you like men with beards, then? If I had a type, I would say I like my man with a good amount of body hair, I suppose, but I think I would fall in love with someone for their mind, not their body. Not that is a possibility for me. You're probably right, but don't do it on my account. All right. Promise me people of the herd should like you, not fear you. Very well. Only for you, my lady. They finished up and went deeper into the woods. The cabin is just there. We should go around it, so not to bother them. Traveler nodded, but turned toward the cabin. I see someone looking to us from the door. Perhaps we should introduce ourselves so they know we are not a threat. I am sure they have not seen lions before and may be worried. Perhaps you should greet them first. But just as Traveler finished, Grandmother fully came out. Why, hello, dears. What a joy to have visitors. Eleanor looked to Traveler, then started Grandmother's way. Bring your friend with you. You can place the horse in the barn to eat. Great mare, we are not meaning to bother you. We are just looking for saplings. We are sorry for disturbing you. Eleanor called out. Nonsense, dear. It is good to see new faces. Here it gets rather lonely. Why don't you stay for some gingerbread and tea, perhaps some milk for your kitty? Just then the stallion of the past marshal stood beside his mother, holding her shoulder. Leave them be, mother. They are doing work. Eleanor put her head down slightly. We are truly sorry for the bother, great stallion. Marshal looked to her. You have a job of collecting saplings, then you should be on your way. We are in no need of company. Grandmother seemed disappointed, but turned to him. I think you just wanted those cookies for yourself, as she walked past him, and he followed behind, shutting the door behind him. Traveler and Eleanor slowly made their way past the cabin and deeper into the woods, finding a few saplings. But Traveler could smell it stronger in the distance, so they kept going to a stream. Should we wet the roots of the saplings here? Eleanor smiled. Yes, we don't want them drying out. Even being wrapped with soil, a little water would be good, and maybe our lunch would be fine to eat here as well. It is a nice area. Traveler nodded. A fine idea. Traveler sat watching her gently give each plant some water. Then washing her hands in the stream, she began to set out some bread, meats, cheese, and grapes. Then from a metal thermos, she poured into a metal cup some tea. I wasn't sure what you enjoy drinking. I hope tea is okay. Eleanor said sheepishly as Traveler thought back while speaking, I haven't had tea since I was in my youth, but I do remember enjoying it. Eleanor had everything on a metal plate as he continued, Well, you should eat what you like, then I will eat after. I tend to be messy. Traveler looked to the large amount of food that he could easily devour in a mouthful. Eleanor shook her head slightly. Well, why don't you tell me what you would like, and I will feed it to you if you don't mind. Traveler looked to her. I may get your hands slobbery. My mouth contains lubricants to help it move smoothly. I am a girl of the land. If they get dirty, I can just wash them. Besides, it would be weird for me to just eat while you watch. Should we start with some bread or meat? Traveler laid down to be closer to her reach. The bread? She put the bread in the palm of her hand as he gently as possible took it from her hand, slowly chewing it, though he could have just swallowed it as she took a piece of bread for herself. Traveler looked to her. How is it? Eleanor took a piece of dried meat. I forget you can't taste it. It's okay, nothing very special about it. I should have brought some jam for it. I don't know, I might not be able to taste it, but sometimes things are better without adding to them. Jam could have made it sweet and not pair well with other foods. Are you a cook then? She smiled. He chuckled, letting out a breath. No, I dare say I never touched a pot's handle. Even when I was out and about, I would eat meals already prepared or raw eggs. Well, probably good. I packed the food. Then, since I'm not one for sucking down raw eggs, do you want some tea? The bread is rather dry. Here, open your mouth, and I'll pour it in. Traveler leaned his head back slightly, opening his mouth a slight amount as she took the cup, pouring a small amount in, hardly enough to wet his tongue. But he wanted to save some for her. That's a good amount. Thank you. By and by, what is your horse's name? Does it have one? I noticed the horses seem to be named here. Eleanor looked over to her horse as it took a drink. Her name is Bulrush. Traveler looked to the horse as well, but it's a female. Eleanor slightly smiled. When she was young, she would try to eat the tops of them. No other horse touched them. But her mouth was covered in them often, so I thought it would be a fine enough name for her, since she liked them so much. It became somewhat quiet as he tried some cheese that she fed him after rubbing her hands slightly. She lowered her voice and seemed uneasy as Traveler looked to her. Mashie, I don't want to be rude, but you said they never told you what's beyond your fur. You know I work with leather. I could check for you and then sew it back up for you. Traveler looked to her with a gentleness. That is kind of you, truly. But, well, I believe if I was whole, my brother would have told me, from the way he looks to me after a new fur is placed on me, and I awaken, I fear there isn't much of me, and, she urged. Traveler let out a sigh. I am ashamed to say I'm afraid of it, the knowing of what is there. Eleanor rubbed his shoulder. It's okay. I just wanted to give you a choice. You said, though, you awaken. How does that take place? Traveler looked down to the stream. We are placed in a chamber that feels with a gas. It's dark and loud. All the years it has done for me, I am still not used to it. All goes black, and when I awaken, I am already in the new skin. Do you always choose white? The king chooses from the skins. They are always white. Eleanor smiled. Must be hard to keep clean. The king rarely left the kingdom, and so there wasn't much use for me to get dirty. I can't help but notice you're saying the king, not your king. Traveler shook himself from his thoughts as he sat up. He will always be my brother, my king, just a different form of wording. Oh, I thought perhaps you were thinking on going your own way. Traveler looked to her. My lady, my way is the way of my brother. I shall protect him till his end, or my own. That's a noble thing, I suppose. She sighed as he caught her eyes to his. I give you that same promise as long as I am here, for we are deep friends, are we not? Eleanor smiled. I can handle myself, and yes, good friends. Traveler smiled. You herdswomen, if you would have grown up in the kingdom, your days would be full of pampering and baths. So are all the women in your kingdom. Plump, then? Traveler bellowed out a laugh. No, my dear lady. Well, that type of life seems boring, if you forgive me for saying so. I want to travel to new land, find new herbs, create new beautiful smells. Traveler cocked his head slightly. Then why don't you? Eleanor started packing up the food. Though I can handle myself, it is hard to be a loner, especially as a woman, and it's not like I will be marrying a man to move away from the herd. Traveler scratched at his mane with his back paw. I'm confused. Why can you not find a mate? You said before untouchable. I see nothing about you. Eleanor put the pack back on her horse. The herd I'm from, they look for strong women. Birth defects can be inherited, and it shows a weakness to a herd. Many stallions and wolves kill the young that are born like me, but our stallion let me live, I think because his own daughter was born with weak legs. But In its own way, it was cruel because no one wants to marry a woman that could create weak offspring, and that goes for other tribes as well. Traveler came up to her. I see no weakness in you. You may be different, but you are stronger than many I know that have no, you can say it, deformities. Oh, my lady, I do not see them that way. They are a part of you, made you who you are. I see them as beauty marks. Eleanor climbed up on her horse. Now that's a funny thing to say. Me beautiful? She turned her horse and started a fast trot off as Traveler stood there a moment. So beautiful, my past hands could never have the blessing to touch upon each one of them. My lady, he thought to himself as he watched her golden hair flow in the wind. She turned looking to him. Hey, you going to take the lead, right? Traveler smiled. They are far off. Let us have a run. Can your mare keep up with me? We will find out. Eleanor let her horse begin a run as Traveler ran up beside it, holding back slightly. She is fast, but not as fast as I. Traveler looked to her from the corner of his eye. Eleanor leaned into her horse and it sped past Traveler as he nearly paused but ran after her. To his surprise, she could almost outrun him. For a few days they gathered the herbs. Traveler took her on a small hunt for rabbits that she said she could make into a winter cloak. When they returned to Abel, he was very well surprised at the tree saplings they had come across, and he sent the ones of the land to plant them nearby. Colt, when we returned, was very pleased as well, since all around us was saying it would be a harder winter when it came.